Hello, everyone. I just turned on that countdown timer super briefly just to make sure, in fact, it was still working for me. But I know that many of you watch the replay and you don't want to have to wait for 5 minutes. And I do have a pro tip for you. If you find one of my older videos that does have the countdown timer at the beginning, you might find it on Facebook, although they take things down now after 30 days. But you might also watch me on my YouTube channel. And if you want to just skip the 5 minutes, all you need to do is at the bottom of the screen, when you click on the screen, at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a bar with a little white dot. And that little white dot, actually, if you grab it, you can move it across and you'll see the time going by as you move it. And so you can just go to minute 5 and then you can skip the countdown timer. But I haven't been out in my garage for a couple of weeks. I'm in my studio. You guys, if you've been here, you've been watching me go live from my phone for the last couple of weeks. And so I just wanted to make sure that everything is still working in here since I haven't actually been in the studio doing my broadcast for a couple of weeks. And one of the things that, in fact, is still not working is those emojis are supposed to come down my entire screen like this one does. And I'm not sure why they are now only going into one corner of my screen, but that is something that I'm going to need to check out and find out how I can fix that. But I hope that you're all doing really, really well. I am all bundled up because it is chilly in this studio because, as you may know, if you've been around here for a while, my studio is in my garage and there's no insulation in this building, this teeny tiny little garage. So in any event, I am Anne LaFollette. If you're new here, I am a surface pattern designer, and that means that I create beautiful work that I put on wrapping paper, on fabric. I've got a bunch of fabric over here as well. You could also put your surface pattern designs on all kinds of products. And I come on live every Wednesday. I try to live stream to both here on Facebook and here on YouTube. But when I am broadcasting from my phone, which I did a couple of weeks ago, last week and the week prior, I was only going to my Facebook business page. But today I'm live streaming to both locations, and I'm pretty sure I can confirm that everything is good to go because I'm going to open up my comments and Pauline Riley, who is my incredibly fabulous community manager and helps me with so many parts of my business. She always checks to make sure that I'm live in both places. And so thank you, Pauline. I see that you're saying hello. And Suze is also here. Suze, I'm so glad that you are here because I want to talk to you about the work that you've been posting in my membership group. So I have a membership called Anne's Atelier. And it's for surface pattern designers who've been kind of in my community for a while. And Suze is one of my students. And hello, Nancy. It's great to see you. It's great to see you. I also have to figure out why all of a sudden is it really hard to, when I bring those comments up, you're supposed to be able to see the writing, not white on white. It's supposed to be black on the white background. Anyway, I'll figure that out too. But what I was saying is that I'm a surface pattern designer. And so I come on every Wednesday to talk about my blog, to talk about things that are going on kind of in my surface pattern design world, answer questions from my students. And Suze is one of my students, and you've been posting some really great patterns in my membership private community, my private community for my membership. And so, Suze, I want to make sure you saw my comment about the collections that you're making. So for those of you who are new here, I have a variety of different programs to help you get started as a surface pattern designer. One of them is called Doodles, and I'll be offering that again in January. I also have a 8 or 9 week program. It depends on kind of where it falls on the calendar, but generally it's about 8 or 9 weeks. It's called the Pattern Design Academy, and that's an online coaching program. I also have a mastermind called the Creative Business Mastermind if you want to get really serious about having a creative business. kind of like mine, but yours will be uniquely yours. And then also from time to time, I have sort of special offers. And because Black Friday is right around the corner, I have a Black Friday special that I want to make sure everybody knows about. And it is, my Black Friday special is this bundle of surface pattern design videos that are troubleshooting guides. They're troubleshooting videos. So let me share my screen for just a second so that you can see what I'm talking about. So if you go to this URL, and my friend Pauline will put it into the comments as well. It's also at the very top of today's broadcast in the title. But if you go to members.artwithann.com/BF2025, you'll land on my Black Friday steal of a deal. And it is a surface pattern design bundle that will help you fix your repeating patterns in 5 minutes or less. And you get 7 troubleshooting videos literally for just $9. So they're valued at $679. So you are getting 98% off. And I think that this is, first of all, it's an incredible value, but also it'll help you stop wasting hours searching YouTube or trying to guess what went wrong with your pattern. Because this Friday, my Black Friday bundle will show you exactly how to spot what's wrong, what you need to click next to fix what's wrong, and also how to rebuild a pattern completely, instead of completely from scratch, how to use what you've already created and then diagnose the problem. So let me just show you what's in what these videos are about, because if you just scroll down on the page, I obviously give you a ton more information about them. So there's 7 of them, right? There's 7 of them. And the first one talks about cutoff motifs, meaning you have a motif, but it isn't appearing properly in the repeat itself. Some portion of it is missing. So that's what this one's about. Sometimes you have an error where your tiles aren't lining up, and that can be a real drag as well. So that's what this one addresses. Then frequently there's a situation where you have a color inside your pattern and you want to make sure that you can change that color. So I have 2 videos, one that tells you how to change a color inside one of your motifs or your doodles. And the other one is actually how to change a color inside your design. For example, if I were to come back on screen for a second, one of my students had a design that she loved, and she just wanted to change one color that was in various places in her design. So that's what that video shows you what to do. And then the other ones are, let me go back to the page so you can see. Then I also talked to you about how to manage layer groups, and because that's a great way to diagnose when you have an issue with your pattern. Then I also have one about border prints, because border prints can be a little bit tricky. And then the last one, the 7th one, is talking about patterns inside patterns and how to troubleshoot why something might not be working if you're trying to build a pattern inside of a pattern. So this is perfect for you if you're super, super close to finishing your pattern, but something keeps breaking, or you're frustrated because Illustrator isn't helping you understand what went wrong. You want some quick wins and not long tutorials, because these are all under 5 minutes. And maybe you've been in one of my programs and you've watched my demos and you wish that I could just show you the fix. And that is what this entire bundle does for you. There's no jargon, there's no overwhelm, there's just the fix. And I've already seen the mistake that you're making. I know exactly what you need to do to fix it. And I walk you through the steps really, really slowly. So in each video, I'm showing you kind of where to click, what to select, and then how to rebuild it how to rebuild it. So students that are in my programs talk about the fact that, they spent days trying to fix their pattern, but once they sent it to me and I sent them a video, they were able to fix it in under 3 minutes. Shannon said she didn't even know she had a layer issue or how to get into layers. And then she realized, oh my gosh, thank you, Anne, for showing me how to use layers, which is what one of the videos is all about. And then also, this just saves you so much frustration, because listen, I know what kinds of mistakes we all make in the beginning. And I made all these mistakes myself. I made all these mistakes myself. And so if you can go to members.artwithann.com/B for black, F for Friday, and 2025 for 2025, you'll land on that page and you can read more about my amazing bundle. And literally, it's only $9. So it's a steal of a deal. And you should grab it before it expires. It'll run until Black Friday and then it'll disappear. So the next thing I wanted to do, since Suze is here, is Suze, first of all, if you are here, tell me in the comments, because I'm watching the comments, did you see my comment this morning about working on your collection? I'm going to talk sort of generally speaking about, well, what does she mean by a collection? And hopefully this is helpful for both Suze and also for those of you who are watching either here live with me or you're watching the replay. So what is a collection? So when you're a surface pattern designer and you are creating individual patterns, so most of these are all individual kind of one-off designs, right? They're not very cohesive. They don't have the same color palette. They're all fabulous, right? They're beautiful. And so is my jacket. But they're not, you wouldn't, for example, design a room using all of these different colors. And so a collection is intended to be something where you're going to be showing a company your work and you want them to see that you had an idea. You had one specific kind of theme for the 8 patterns or the 4 patterns that you created. So Suze, a great example of how to get started with a collection, and this is good for all of you as well, is if you wanted to have a Christmas theme and your first collection was just for Christmas because it's right around the corner and you want to have 4 designs, you would probably only use 6 colors that work for Christmas. You'd use white, blue, red, green, and then you might use silver and gold for accents. But you would basically only have a color palette with those 6 colors. You wouldn't use any other colors in the whole collection. You just use those 6. And then each of your designs would have some type of a Christmas theme. So one of them could be Christmas trees, right? So that's what this is. Right? This is my Christmas. This is Christmas. It's upside down, right? The Christmas trees, I guess, go like this. This is actually another really great example. This is a directional print, meaning that this is wrapping paper, so it doesn't matter what direction it goes in. But essentially, this would be one of the patterns in my collection because it's using gold and green and white, right? So very Christmassy. So then the next one in my collection could be this one. Could be this one, right? And this one is just using 2 colors, red and white, right? So there isn't any red in this one, and that's okay. Each of the designs don't have to use all of the colors. This one uses 3 colors, green, gold, and white. This one uses red and white, but they go together in a collection because they're both about Christmas or their holiday. They have a holiday theme to them, right? This one has just beautiful sprigs, and I don't know if you can tell, but it has kind of little stars. And this one has also sprigs, also little teeny white flowers, and then also Christmas trees. So then, for example, I don't know if I have another really good example here. So here's another one. Here's another one. So this one is kind of similar, and it is only using silver, white, and red. So the idea that I'm trying to get across is you need to make sure that your color palettes are much, much simpler than what you've been using so far, Suze. You're using way, 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 way too many colors. And one of the things that using fewer colors does is it makes your designs look much more professional. Because people aren't confused by all the colors you're using. So anyway, and then okay, so another thing about collections is you want to be using the same kinds of techniques. like one technique, just one technique, not a whole bunch of different techniques in the way in which you're drawing. So for example, if you are drawing, this is going to be hard to describe without actually showing you kind of an example, but all of these designs of mine in this particular holiday collection, they're all, none of them have an outline none of them have an outline color around the motif, right? So that's a choice. That's a design choice. But throughout the whole collection, I'm making the decision, I'm not going to have anything that has an outline color. And that has to be consistent throughout every single one that's in that collection. So Susan, the ones that you're working on, some of them have a dark outline or black around the outside, and some don't. So you have to pick. You have to decide, are all of my motifs going to have that around them, or none of them going to have it? Because otherwise it looks like you're not being intentional and you're not thinking kind of, this has to be cohesive and they have to make sense with each other. They have to sit together. And so the variety comes from the size of the motifs. So some of your motifs are big and some of your motifs are small. In this example, some of your motifs are really, really big. It's a little hard to see with this color, but some of the gold motif is really, really big, but the Christmas trees are smaller. All of these are the spacing in some of them. These two have very similar spacing. Can you tell? Like there's meaning that there is space in between the motifs that's fairly similar. But this one is much more crowded. The one I had before, they're much more crowded. There's much less kind of open space in between. And that actually is totally fine, because sometimes you want to have a big design that has really big motifs, and sometimes you want to have really small motifs. And that's okay because it's adding variety. But there's still consistency from your color palette and from the way you draw. So hopefully that's helpful. That's a little like tutorial for everyone on things to think about when you're building a collection. Great, fantastic. And so hello, Kim Thompson Steele. It's lovely to see you. So those are my beautiful Christmas designs. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad also, Suze, that you're like getting your understanding. I also mentioned that because you've taken my Pattern Design Academy program, you should go watch the replays of the lessons on collections, because I not only show you what I mean by what I'm talking about right now about the color palettes, but I also talk to you about how do you create variety without how do you create variety without actually designing your motifs in a completely different way and using a different technique in every single design, because that's where you then lose cohesion and they don't sit well together. They clash, for lack of a better description. Okay, so don't forget to go grab my Black Friday bundle. I'm super excited about it. And I've never offered something that's this like crazy Black Friday before. So you can go to members.artwithann.com/BF. Those are lowercase b, lowercase f like Frank or Friday 2025. And then you can grab the 7 troubleshooting videos for just $9. And just scroll down and then you can see the topics that are covered in every single one of them. And there's lots more information on here about how this is perfect for you if you need troubleshooting support. And I don't think that I even did a Black Friday deal last year. So I'm back doing a Black Friday special. So I'm going to let you go. You can also always go to my website to learn more about me, to learn more about service pattern design, to download freebies that I have for you there. And my website is AnnaFollettArt.com. And if I type that into here, just so you know, if you go to AnnaFollettArt.com, what does it look like? Do you know that you're in the right place? You can type in anlafolladart.com. And this is a beautiful photo of me from Kim Thompson Steele. I still absolutely love this picture. It's me here in my studio holding some of my fabric, and you can see some of my prior designs. I've got new designs behind me this year, but this is where you can get started learning more about surface pattern design. You can grab my free craft fair guide if you're going to be doing a craft fair guide. I want to make sure that you're going to make lots of profits. So it talks about how to make it very, very profitable for yourself. And then you can also learn more about surface design with my ebook, which is free. This is the same craft guide. And then, of course, if you're interested in my art supplies, you can check that out as well. And I write a blog every single Tuesday. I publish a blog. And so if you want to learn a little bit more about or follow my blog, you can sign up for my newsletter. And yesterday I wrote about when creative dreams feel too big, start where you are. And don't let yesterday take up too much of today. That's a favorite quote by Will Rogers. But I write a blog every single week, so you can basically scroll down and there's lots of fantastic blogs mostly about mindset to help you make progress in your creative journey. So check out the blog. And if you're not on my email list, you can go to, you can sign up for my email list by going to members.artwithann.com/newsletter. And you can sign up for my newsletter there. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And I always like to say in closing that I am Ann LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now. And next Wednesday is the day before Thanksgiving. So I will come on. I will be live. It might be short, but I will be here next Wednesday. And if you're having lots of family for Thanksgiving, I hope that it won't be too overwhelming and that you'll have a wonderful time with your friends and family. All right. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.